the marketing director walked in and he threw something on the table and he said, "This shit is trash, but we can sell this." And that when I heard that and I realized how he was breaking that down, I was like, I realized what the game was then, because I was like, it's not.
What you heard? Yeah. What you heard? What you heard? You can hear a motherfucking thing.
Hey, yo, what's up, people? It's your boy Tizzle from Pod Talk by Tizzle. I'm here with I Am James Wade.
You already know, Lights On in the building.
Yes, sir, and Big Ben.
Las Vegas Legends on IG. Lights!
You already know, we here.
Yeah.
We here, nigga.
We here, man. Hey, let them know where to reach you at.
Hey, listen, on every platform, I am James Wade. That means Spotify, Apple Music, Snapchat, IG, Twitter, anything, TikTok. I am James Wade. You want to email me? It's at IamJamesWade@gmail. So you already know.
Sure, man. Glad to have you here, man.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me. Straight up and down. You already
Yo,
For real.
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Let's
Straight
get
up
it.
and down. Let's go.
Absolutely,
we got another one in the building.
Yeah,
James motherfucking Wade. Let's go.
So this is definitely, man, one of my favorite artists in the city, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to say, first off, I want to get to your creative mind, because your videos, like, a lot of people are so lazy in that area.
Yes, sir.
So I know you write the scripts for all your shit, huh?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I do treatments for all mine. And the big thing for me is I really genuinely like the performance part of, like, putting together, like, a vision. Yeah. So it's like, even when I write tracks, like, I'm thinking about, like, I'm trying to paint a picture so vivid that I can just translate into a video.
Easy.
So it's easy for me, man. I got the next one gonna blow y'all mind. Like, if y'all like the last one, like, I'm really deep into this shit.
You ever did some acting?
I have, actually.
Okay.
Actually, man, I did drama when I was in high school.
Makes sense.
I did advanced acting when I was in college. So yeah, man, I got a background.
That nigga got a six-pack, too.
Oh, yeah.
He ready.
He wasn't the real
He ready
man.
for a movie. He ready for an action film.
Hey, man.
Hit him the fuck up with it.
Hey, y'all need somebody in y'all videos. Hit him up, man.
Yep. Y'all need somebody. Book my man's right here.
For sure.
100%. Actually, I think y'all know, like, C-Lux, y'all probably just did a reaction to hers.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
actually in one of her earlier videos as a male cast. Like,
what?
I'm her, like, love interest in that video. Yeah,
Okay.
I know. That's the homie.
So let's get it.
And speaking of, let's get up on the most important part, college. You know,
Yes,
because
sir.
a lot of people don't go to college.
Yes, sir.
What made you? Well, what was your process into getting into college, and how was college for you? And what school and shit you went to?
Yeah, so honestly, man, even when I was in high school, I was in all honors classes. Like, I was actually third in my class when I graduated. So
Straight up.
it was different, man. I was a 3-sport athlete. I was heavy in the books. I was running around the streets like a little dumbass. But I was able to balance everything in my life, bro. And I was just blessed, man, because earlier on, I got caught up in some bullshit, even earlier than high school, where I got expelled from school.
Oh, damn.
And at that point, it was like, either I'm gonna run around with these knuckleheads and do this dumbass shit, or I'm gonna make something of myself.
Okay.
So I just locked in and I said, hey, I'm just gonna put everything into learning and just being the best version of myself, man. I got in those books, really took to sports real heavy, learned a discipline from that. And by the time I was graduating, bro, I had like 6 basketball offers. I had over like 50 football offers. I was Mr. Illinois. And I hold the single season and career rushing record for the area I lived in.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, man. So I had a bunch of offers. I went to a bunch of different schools, but University of Dayton is where I ended up.
Ohio.
Yeah, man. So
Spiders.
Ohio in the building. You feel me?
Spiders. They the spiders, right?
Flyers.
The Flyers, not
Yes,
the
sir.
spiders.
Yes, sir. So
Flyers.
yeah, bro, like it was a great situation across the top, because like their football program was dope and the academics was dope. So I went there, I clowned, kicked it, I lived it up, ended up getting 3 degrees. So yeah, we tapped in. We did that.
So where was you at before you went to Dayton? Before you went to Ohio?
Yeah,
So I was in Illinois. I ended up going to high school in Illinois because I got in trouble in Georgia. Like I wasn't even allowed to go to public schools in Georgia no more. Like that's how bad it was when I got expelled. So my mom was like, "Yo, I'm gonna send you with your pops out in Illinois," and I went and stayed with my pops for high school.
Okay. Yeah. How was that?
Yeah, so it was crazy because where I come from, it's like 97% black. Like all my teachers were black, doctors were black, everybody was black, rich people was black, poor people was black.
Where you from?
Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Stone Mountain, Georgia. Let's get it.
Boy, love Georgia.
God's country.
Let's go. So yeah, man. So the area of Illinois was like 45 minutes south of Chicago, and it was more mixed. But the Midwest and South is just so different. Like we're big about community down the South. That Southern hospitality wasn't there. It was more like like that. Like it was a bunch of conflict and a bunch of bullshit. But I learned a lot from that area, so that helped shape me as well.
Okay.
Shout out to Dayton. Shout out to Illinois. Shout out to the whole world. If you watching Kode 7 right now, shout out to you wherever the fuck you at.
Y'all know.
So that's where you graduated from? Ohio?
Yeah, so I graduated from University of Dayton in 09.
You gotta turn that shit down.
Yeah, 09. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you, so what all did you? What all degrees did you end up with?
So I have a degree in marketing, women's studies actually, and I have communication management and statistical systems.
Okay.
Dang, women's studies. That's a degree you in. Yeah. You sitting next to the doctor's degree of that nigga. You want a master's degree? You want to You want to take your shit back? You want to go further? You want to further your degree program?
Advanced degree.
Anytime.
$49.99.
The Tizzle man's here. Women's studies.
Sure, man.
You know what I'm saying?
And you said you said you interned at what,
Atlantic Records, yes sir.
Oh,
what was that like?
shit.
So yeah, in the artist development.
How did you get into it as well?
So actually, it was just one of the internships that was offered through. So I was on the football team as well, of course, right? So we kind of got like dibs when it came to like the internships. You know how that goes. I saw an opportunity, like they had one for music. I was already in the marketing department. I saw that there was one for music. I'm like, man, this would be great. Now this is even before I was really like. I was already songwriting. I was already doing spoken word. I would do demos, but I wasn't really like, yo, this is gonna be my career. You feel me? Right. So getting into the business side of it and watching it, bro, I sat in the room one time, and the marketing director walked in and he threw something on the table and he said, "This shit is trash, but we can sell this." And that when I heard that and I realized how he was breaking that down, I was like, I realized what the game was then, because I was like, it's not even about what people think is like what people think is dope is subjective. It's about, is there a demographic that you can sell this product to? That's it. That's it. So I learned that before I even really stopped back. So even when I started like getting really serious about wanting to be in the music, I understood it from a business standpoint. Like how the record should sound, how I could throw a bar your way and throw a bar her way. It's the same bar, but I know it's gonna hit y'all different.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you said you realized basically the marketing part of the game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So everything I do, man, is extremely strategic. Like everything ties into each other. So it's making sure I give you something with creative integrity, but at the same time give you something that I know I can mass market.
I can package it up and get rid of that shit. For sure, for sure. So look, who was the first person that made you feel that you could actually do music? Because a lot of people, you know, they rap in the house and beat on their chest and shit. So what made you decide like, yo, I can really be successful at this shit? I got my own lane.
Like, well, I started going around just like battle rapping and shit. Like to be real, like, so I'm out in the Dayton streets and shit like that, and they taking me to all these niggas they say is nice, and I'm cooking all of them. And I'm just cooking niggas with shit that I'm like writing in the crib just in my spare time. Like I'm in class, like I'm supposed to be paying attention in class, but every time I'm just thinking of bars and shit. I'm like, bro, that'll be hard as fuck out. That because I'm a music fan above everything. So everything I'm doing, everything I'm listening to is inspiring me. And I'm just pushing that shit out. So I'm going around, I'm just busting these niggas' ass, and I'm like, bro, I'm nice. And then I had mentors that were older than me, of course, and they was like, bro, you got it. Like, so they started having me perform in clubs, and it was like, one thing I understand about myself, me on record is dope. But when you see me live, I'll make you a believer.
The energy, for sure.
Yeah, it's and I had that even before I really even understood how to perform and stuff like that. Right. So the first time I got into clubs, bro, I sold out the first time I was ever like featured. When they was like, people at the door like, is James Wayne about to perform? And I'm like, bro, like this is crazy. Yeah. It wasn't even something that I was like planning or anything, but it was like I genuinely had God put people in my life that genuinely just kept pushing me like, bro, you crazy, you dope. And everything that I did kind of like fed into that. I would do it once and then it would just make this spill. I was being booked everywhere. I had offers to do tapes like just out of nowhere. So I was like, bro, I need to take this seriously. Like God is showing me something.
Yo, I gotta ask a question. So you always went by James Wade?
Yeah.
No. So I went through a lot of like.
We know your real name is not James Wade, by the way, so don't look my nigga up.
No, that is actually that's my real name.
Don't go look my nigga up on Google, you fucking weirdos. My nigga name is Ricky Thomas.
So when you was telling me a story earlier about when you was in college. You said your college buddies.
Yeah, man. So I had some alphas that came to the crib, and they was actually trying to get me to, like, I was real popular on campus. So, like, all of these fraternities was trying to get me to pledge or whatever. So what they do is they come to my house. They, like, literally invite me out. Like, they was, like, literally, I wasn't one of those dudes that had to, like, go and, like, pledge. Like, I had them niggas lined up because, like, literally this is what I did.
Drum line?
Yeah, no. And this
like,
is
come over here. Come to Omega.
So,
Come be a Q dog with us.
So, like,
Raise a star.
When I was younger, bro, I was arrogant as fuck. So, like, I was that nigga in high school. So I was like, bro, I can't go to college and be no lame. So what I did was, when we got on campus early, when I was playing football, I went around to every door and I introduced myself to everybody. So by the time the first semester ended, like, there wasn't a group on campus that I didn't know. Yeah. So I would just walk down the street and niggas would be yelling like, James, where James? But, like, it was literally a thing. Damn. So them niggas saw that and they was like, bro, we see the movement you got
already. We
want you in. So, like, I had some demos that I had made before I came to college, and I was just playing them in my dorm as I was getting ready. So they come in, and they're like, "Yo, who the fuck is this?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's me, bro. It ain't." They like, "No, nigga, turn that up. Like, we need to see. Like, turn that up." So I'm playing it there. We immediately get to the party. They tell the DJ like, "Yo, no, we finna throw in the instrumental. We finna let this nigga perform." Like, straight out the gate. So it was like, everywhere I went after that, like, people like, yo, when you come perform at our parties, they was paying me, and it was like that. It just overnight, my name took off. So that's really how I got in. Even university booked me for shows and shit like that. So
damn. What was them like? What was them shows like?
So it's crazy because Dayton is now listed more in, like, they're more in the Ivy League category. So, like, the demographic is completely different. So what they were thinking was, well, we'll bring him in and he'll bring all the hip hop crowd, right? Mm-hmm. So they had me opening for, like, Grammy artists who were, like, alternative, like Blessed Union of Souls. Like, they would have these big, alternative artists and country artists come in, and they would have me open for them. Yeah. And I'm out there, like, killing it. So there ended up being DJs on the scene that was like, yo, we're going to put you here. We're going to send you here. One had a relationship with DJ Ill Will. Mm-hmm. He just sent him like some footage of me. He was like, bro, have him make a tape. I'll host a tape. So my first ever tape was hosted by DJ Ill Will. It's called Pop with the Stranger.
Shout out to DJ Ill Will.
Shout out to them. Hot hip hop, bro. They show a lot.
That's what I love about college and the college music scene. It's so diverse.
Bro, it is.
You know, and you get people from all over the country, more than likely.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And you know, you blend in. You got the rap with the alternative.
Yes, sir.
With the, you know, like even the rap is just so fresh.
Yes, sir.
And I always feel like, okay, if the high school kids fucking with it, you got something.
Yeah.
But if the college kids and the high school kids fucking with it,
nigga, that's money, bro. That's so much money.
You in there? It's damn near the same crowd.
It is.
Know?
No,
that's
it really
where I
is.
feel like a lot of rappers that's famous now, and even guys like you, like that's where they get that's the proving grounds for them.
Yeah, 100%.
And they still perform
because they want energy.
Yeah,
because if you don't have it, they gonna let you know.
100%.
The college niggas will boo you, throw shit on the stage. They gonna let you know.
Yeah, no bullshit.
You know what I'm saying? So that is the proving grounds, and that's where a lot of rappers should get. Even if you don't go to college, you know, I feel like you should definitely tap into your local university if you ain't doing shit else. You know what I'm saying?
They actually say that it's proven that they pass music along the fastest. That age group, that demographic. So it's like if you do get in with them, your music is shooting, and I saw that in real time. So that was big.
Yeah, so you ain't got football pads on. This ain't a sports blog. This is mainly hip hop, entrepreneurship,
100%,
love across the board.
So
somewhere in between, what the fuck happened? Why you not in the NFL right now?
What happened with the sport?
Straight out of Dayton. What the fuck
100%.
happened? Did you play 4 years? Did you get hurt? Like, let's tell us how you made that journey to say, I got to put the pads down.
You actually, man, you hit it right on the head. So, actually, right here. So, the third.
You can see it right there. Right,
I didn't got to say shit. I got the screws right there as well. So, the third game of my senior year, I tore my ACL and PCL.
Damn.
Like, I'm literally like, I cut and I make a move. I'm like, I'm going to the house, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, what the fuck happened? Everybody's telling me stay down. So I find out that happens. Everybody's telling me, bro, that's God. God wants you to focus on this music shit. You fire, bro. Go ahead and go to this music shit, because I was being looked at by the Cleveland Browns to be a kickoff returner.
Okay.
So I was like, man, I got a path to the NFL. Actually, my best friend went to the NFL. We was the same year and everything. Went to the same high school. We was actually offered to Oregon State as like a package deal. I'm arrogant. I don't want to go as no package deal. I want to be the main feature. He went out there, balled out, did his thing, went to the NFL. Right. So like in the same year where I get hurt, I'm out for the whole year. Of course, you know that ACL is a year injury.
Oh yeah, you gotta sit down.
So I had to sit down and I ain't have nothing else, bro. I had nothing but music, and it was crazy because again, you know, when certain things happen in your life, like people pull away from you and shit like that, and I really saw the game. Like I was like, oh, all these motherfuckers was waiting for me to be that money ticket.
Yeah,
and they walked away. So I just saw a lot of shit, and so that's what actually made me really lock in. And I'm like, nah, man, like God pushed me towards this music.
For sure.
And I locked in.
And where did you end up after that? After you left college? Because you told me you didn't travel, you didn't live in Houston.
Yeah,
you
man.
lived in a couple spots.
Yeah. So actually, where I went from Ohio. Like once I left Dayton, I actually moved to Cleveland.
Okay.
And then Cleveland is actually where I started to like tour a lot. So I was already, while I was still in school, I was always being asked to go on these legs of different tours. So when Wiz Khalifa came through and I could go off spots with him, I did him. Big Sean, Mike Posner, Mac Miller was the first cat I went on the road with. No, actually Mike Posner was, but Mac Miller, I was on one of his first like regional spots, right?
Shout out to Mac Miller, man. Shout out to my nigga Mike Posner, man.
Yeah, Posner,
one of my niggas right there. That's one of my niggas.
Posner's a great songwriter, and I watched how they did I watched how, because a guy that I was like really close with, he ended up being the tour manager for Mike Posner. So I watched what they did. What they did was they would bring him in. Nobody in these spots knew who this dude was, but they kept pumping the shows like this dude is like incredible and all this kind of stuff. Then they took the footage from that show and they shouted it to labels. So they were just booking and they were creating the buzz around. They were filling out these venues. The kids didn't even know who this nigga was, right? And no shade to him because he was fired where he was at. Yeah. But all they did was take that image and bring that to where we was at. So everybody was like, well, if they say he dope, he gotta be dope. And so they filled it up, and then they used that as the footage that they used to give him the deal.
Inside voice.
So it was so I watched how, you know, like that. I'm like, oh, see, I'm watching the game in real time, like how they're really doing that, and that's how he really got successful. Like there was label standoffs for him. Like they were bidding against him, but that's how they did it.
That's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope, man. So after that, you said you moved where after?
So I was in Cleveland, Ohio for some time. So like I said, I was touring all out in that area, and then what I did was I moved to Nashville. Now this is a poppy. So like I'm going around in these clubs in Ohio. They know my name. They're screaming it when I come in. Hey, you know the DJ on the hey James Wade in the building. I'm getting tables. My mentor is with me. We in there kicking and having a good ass time. He's like, all right, nigga. So you popping in Ohio now? What?
Straight up.
That's the first. And he like, my nigga, we out kicking it. Like I'm like, man, I stop. I'm like, what the nigga? You trying to kill? What's up? He's like, nah, nigga, for real. Like, you just gonna stay here forever and just be on this hype when you can just go take over everywhere. He was like, keep moving, nigga. Right. Keep moving. Do exactly what you did here. You hit the ground in a city, in a state where nobody knew you. You had no ties, and you turned that shit up.
Yeah.
I've watched you do that everywhere you go. Now keep doing it.
Straight up.
And he was the one who challenged me. So after that, I was like, boom, let's go to Nashville. Right? So I was in Nashville. You didn't know nobody
there?
Huh?
You didn't know nobody there?
Bro, I went to Nashville. I shit you not. I had enough for 1 month's rent. And when I got to Nashville, I had $20 in my pocket, bro. I had $20 in my pocket. Now, on some other shit that I got into, by the time I was leaving Nashville, I was making 6 figures. No bullshit.
Oh, damn.
You know what I mean? So that also taught me in life, like, I could always bet on myself. Because I got enough skills, I got enough intelligence, I got enough gumption to be able to step out on faith and do what needs to be done to grind to get where I need to get.
Fast.
So I was actually doing some songwriting out there for Sony, actually. So, but again, I'm in the alternative in the country division. Hated it right at first. I'm like, man, I don't want to be in it. But it challenged my songwriting, and it really helped me to learn how to literally create anything. Like really, like have something where it's like, I know these people over here gonna love it, and it's gonna be subtle enough to where they don't get it, but I know they get it. Straight and then I'm gonna do something else where over here, like even if you take my album, right? For instance, you take my album, you have all the media listen to it. Everybody gonna like a different song, but I know that. Yeah. Like that's purposely done. Sure. So there's never gonna be a true consensus. There may be like 1 or 2 where everybody's like, nah, I feel that too.
Yeah.
But if you actually listen to it, they're like, no, 3, 4, 5 is mine. You be like, no, 1, 6, and 7 is mine. That's purposely done.
Oh, that's dope.
You feel me? So.
For sure. So all right, so what was the first album you did? What was the first album you did where you was like, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna make an actual album?
Yes, sir. So I appreciate you asking that. It was called "And the Wisdom to Know the Difference." So I was
deep with it too. Yeah.
So I was here when I made that, right? So,
okay, let's go.
Yeah. So it was actually there's a record on there called 28 Days, and Mikey Picasso does the background vocals for that. On my first album, like it was on my first ever album. So but I didn't release my first ever album again until probably, my memory's a little fuzzy, but I would say it was 2017.
Okay.
I want to say that happened in 2017, and that was again the idea that was like I've conquered my vices, I've conquered the things that I've allowed to slow me down, and this is like my victory lap.
Okay.
And so it was like, because again, like the serenity prayer, like to have the wisdom to know the difference between what I should be following, what my purpose should be, where I should be going. So the records on there, bro, a lot of them are like super conscious. They're just like, you got like little hints of gospel. You got a wide array, just like what you would have of music that I have now, but it was really focused in that, understanding that I identified the things that were slowing me down, the vices, and then I conquered those vices so that I could be a better person.
How did you end up here? From Nashville, or did you?
Yeah, so I ended up going to Birmingham after that. I had a gig out in Birmingham. I like in Birmingham, so and that was dope. But towards the end, man, that was a darker period in my life where I was still kind of like, I was starting to spin in circles, and I wasn't focusing on the music like I should have. Like I got involved in some other shit, and I really pulled away from the music. And so I'm on the phone with my mother, and like context for that is like she's an extremely like conservative woman, like. She don't even
She from
cuss
Georgia.
words. Yeah,
She from Stone Mountain.
Super spiritual.
She ain't playing that shit.
And she's like, I'm on the phone complaining, and she just out of nowhere, she go, well, why don't you just move to Vegas? And Vegas was something I was thinking about moving to because I come out here in 2012. 14. I did a show in California first. It was the first time I'd ever been on the West Coast.
Damn.
Did a show out there, and then I did a show here in Vegas. And now that I remember, it was like somewhere out in Summerlin, and it was at like this kind of half sushi bar with like a stage, whatever, right? But it was somebody from Ohio who knew me, was like, hey, I can get you a date out here. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go out there. So they paid for everything, got me out here, boom. I loved it out here. And I was like, bro, I want to move to the West Coast. Like, them niggas is different out there. Like, they got a vibe I like it's chill. It ain't, all this extra shit. Like, I love to be out there. And so I told myself I'd always go there, but I was allowing other things in life to slow me down to where I was like, I wasn't taking that leap. And she said to me, she was like, well, why don't you just move to Vegas? Like, in the calmest voice ever. And I was like, she would never say something like that. Again, that was God. So I was like, God is like, it's time for me to get up and go. And I sold my townhouse. I literally lived out of my car because I was saving up all my money so I could move over here. And the blessing part was the actual position that I had. They actually offered a transfer to Vegas, and I applied for it. And even after I quit, I had actually gotten the transfer. Because I was like, man, if they don't give it to me, I'm not waiting. I'm out of here. And they was like, no, we got you. So I just went cross country, brought all my shit in one car, and fucking had enough. Like, I rented out a house out on Pecos and started working for the Residence Inn as an event specialist.
Okay.
So I was over there when I first got here.
Boy, you be taking chances.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do to win.
Yeah, you gotta
take
bro.
a chance to win, man.
I gotta bet on myself every time. Yeah.
Hey, and if you got talent, like, I could relate because I'm from a smaller town in Georgia than Stone Mountain.
Yes,
so it's like we born with the gift.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But that motherfucking gift don't mean nothing unless you give it out.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah, like. And I also could relate to going to other places, man, and popping off my movement.
Yes, sir.
But this motherfucking city is the brick wall.
Yes, sir.
This where the bullshit stops. I done been to New Mexico, Denver,
yes, sir.
El Paso. They know me.
Yes,
they know the team. They know the music.
Yes, sir.
But you come to this motherfucker, you got to make it happen.
Yes, sir.
This is where
100%.
it goes. They say, like, if you can make it in LA, you can make it anywhere. You can make it in New York. But this where it go down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like,
I agree.
Like
completely.
America definitely has its hidden gems. It's proving grounds and different shit. So yeah, like So everybody out there, get the fuck out your city. Even if you live in Vegas, move the fuck around. Go to Phoenix, meet some people. Go to Texas. I know you niggas love Texas, Miami. Like, go live there.
You got to, man.
Go check it out. Go check it out for a month. So many
advantages to that shit. Because I even think about, like, on the performance shit. Like, I'm always going into these cities where I don't got a home base. Right. And I got to prove to these motherfuckers in front of me that I get it in. Right? So, it's different. Like, because I always talk to artists. I'm like, bro, go somewhere else. Go somewhere where people don't know you so you can't hide behind a bunch of your niggas in the crowd and everybody just because you get that love off riff, and it can be extremely like it's problematic because the way you look at it's a skewed perspective. Like you're like, oh, I'm really this, but then you go somewhere else and they booing you and you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. If you need that shit where a motherfucker just stand there like, I don't know you, nigga, prove it to me. Yeah, and then you prove it to them, then you know your shit is that. Yeah. And then now you feel confident that you can go anywhere. And that's what was happening to me. Like I was going in the spots where I knew I didn't have no home base. And I was like, I'm finna get these niggas a show. I'm finna show them. But by the end of this shit, these niggas gonna wanna know who I am. And I kept that attitude. And I never tried to rely on like people knowing me or having connections or anything. I just wanted to go straight out there and just give them what I had and see if that worked.
How did you hop on the music scene out here?
Man, you know what I was getting, man. It was a wall. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm trying to tell you, it's a fucking wall, dog. It's other cities that's bigger than Vegas that you got
will embrace you,
more access to, man. Yeah, man. They niggas don't understand.
Yeah, it was rough, man. I would say the first person that really opened up, you know, really extended his hand was DJ Shakespeare.
Shout out to my nigga Shakes, man.
Shout out to Shakes, bro. Like, so what I had ended up doing is as I was recording my first album, I was doing it with his brother. Mm-hmm. I went through, I looked, I'm like, hey, let me, you know, find an engineer out here, like, get it in. So I'll go in the studio. So, like, when him and his brother was sitting down, he's like, bro, I need some talent out here. Like, he was like, I can't really find nobody. He's like, bro, I know this nigga from Georgia. He's like, he just came to the studio. This nigga different. Like, he got some heat. And so he was like, yo, he told me to reach out to you. He said, you crazy. And he was like, my brother said, you crazy. I'm going to give you a shot. And so I went down there and I was always getting like the, you know, the latest flies so nobody knew me. And like, I go up there and like niggas would be like, oh, but it'd be like, you know how people are like they're going out of their way to make sure they do not pay you no attention.
Welcome to Vegas, baby.
Right?
Welcome to Vegas,
like,
baby.
Oh, shit. Yeah, it's hard. And so it was hard for a minute. And then I met Mikey Picasso, and
shout out to Mikey Picasso, man.
He would throw me in it. He would throw me in his video. He would ask me to come out to like shows, just show love. I'm gonna introduce you to people on the scene. And he ended up doing a show at the Bunkhouse. And like I remember the promoter got up and he was like, "Yo, anybody who interested in doing shows, you know, outside of Vegas, like hit me up." And I'm like, man, like I book all my own shows, even all the shows that I do on the East Coast, still Midwest, South. I still book all my own shows. I'm like, if he already got another plug, that's just getting me more extra shows. So I'm gonna try to tap in with him. So I was like, bro, let me send you my electronic press kit. Boom, boom, boom. I'm James Wade. Boom, boom, boom. And I sent it to him, and he hit me that night. Like,
how many of y'all don't have an electronic press kit?
Man, get you one if you ain't got one, bro. If you want people to take you seriously, bro, you gotta have everything.
You gotta have that shit right, man, for real.
So that's what he did. I mean, he hit me up like, and he's like, bro, I don't mean to offend you. And he was like, I got a question. And I was like, I don't mean to offend you. And then I'm like, what? He's like, why aren't you famous yet? He's like, bro, I just did a deep dive on you. He was like, I'm seeing you performing at stadiums, 20,000 people. I'm like seeing all these blogs. You got write-ups, you got this. And I just laughed. I said, well, that's not how the game works. Yeah. And as I've grown and matured and been in a lot of label situations, I understand genuinely how the game works. And again, the game is about selling you destructive shit.
Yeah.
And I've been in label meetings where they say, you're too intelligent, you use too many big words, and we want you to, like, everything that I stand for, they wanted me to disregard that for some paper. And I got too much integrity for that. Like, God gonna bless me, bro. I got a purpose in life, so I'm gonna make it on by doing the things the right way.
For sure.
How the fuck you winning if you lost to this? Niggas think they own, so they get off in this. It's easy to get crossed in this. On TOP, we gon' get far from this. Step up in they town and burn it down like I'm a horse.